So guys, can you see my screen? Yes, and my voice is also audible, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So incompatibility is one of the very important topic we need to discuss. Incompatibility by its name itself suggests that if there certain chemicals are not compatible with each other, maybe because of various reasons. What are those reasons? We will discuss now. We will see in detail, right? And they are causing the results which are unwanted, unexpected, and undesirable results if we are getting, then we call it incompatibility. Let's see the definition of the incompatibility. See, if you see the definition in God, when two or more substances or ingredients in a prescription are mixed together, undesirable, unexpected, unwanted change that may take place is called incompatibility. This unwanted change can be physical change, chemical change, or therapeutical change in the properties of the medicament. This is called incompatibility. Please note it down. Please note it down. Oh my God. इमरान सर आपका ब्लूटूथ ऑफ करो ना, मेरे को गाने सुने आ रहे हैं. ऑफ है. सॉरी, सॉरी फॉर द इनकन्वीनियंस. Yeah. So guys, so we are discussing.
And the definition of the incompatibility says that when two or more substances or the two or more ingredients which are given the prescription, when they are mixed together and when you are getting unwanted, unexpected, and results or products, then it's called incompatibility, right? So this unwanted, unexpected change in the result can be physical change, chemical change, and therapeutical change. So roughly, these incompatibilities are divided into physical incompatibility, chemical incompatibility, and therapeutical incompatibility. Again, if any physical change occurs like insolubility, immiscibility, liquefaction, insolubility, immiscibility, liquefaction, or explosion. These are physical changes, and if these changes occur, then we call it physical incompatibility. When you're mixing two or more substances and you are expecting them to dissolve and you are not seeing any solubility, then it is a physical incompatibility. The two ingredients in your prescription are not dissolving properly, then it's a physical incompatibility. And if your substance is not miscible in the solvent, then it is also an immiscibility and physical incompatibility. If you're mixing two liquids and they are converting into two solids and they are converting into liquid, liquefaction. I'll give you with an example. Then it's also called as physical incompatibility and even explosion. See, insolubility, look, all equation of suspension, we will see insolubility. If we have the insolubility incompatibility, then we will go for the suspension by adding suspending agents, right? So solid insoluble drug particles when added in liquid vehicle, a suspending agent is added to overcome this incompatibility of insolubility. Right? Coming to immiscibility, if you are using the imported oil ingredients and you are adding it in aqueous solvent, then these oils are not soluble in water, not miscible in water. Then you are going to see immiscibility type of incompatibility. Coming to liquefaction, there are a lot of examples. Let's take one example. Example, you're taking camphor and you're taking menthol. Camphor and menthol, they both are solids at room temperature. But when they are mixed with each other, camphor acts as an impurity to menthol, and menthol acts as an impurity to camphor, and they both start liquefying at the room temperature. They both are solids at the room temperature, but they liquefies at room temperature when they are mixed together because of the physical incompatibility. There are a lot of such examples which are solids at room temperature, but due to incompatibility, they are main liquefied. So that comes under liquefaction of physical incompatibility. Then explosion. When oxidation and reduction substances are mixed together at the same time, then there is chances of explosion in the formulation. In such cases, it's also considered as physical incompatibility, right? So physical incompatibility where incompatibility is caused by immiscibility, solubility, liquefaction, explosion, or solubilization is called physical incompatibility. And these are the examples: immiscibility, insolubility, liquefaction. Okay, guys. Then we have chemical incompatibility. What does chemical incompatibility suggest to us? In chemical incompatibility, what happens when two substances are mixed together, then unwanted, unexpected chemical reaction takes place. Generally, unwanted, unexpected chemical reaction is nothing but precipitation. So, in chemical incompatibilities, there are two types of precipitates forming. One is thick, indiffusible precipitate, thick, indiffusible precipitate, right? And the second one is light, diffusible precipitate. So that's the basic difference between the two precipitates here. One precipitate in incompatibility, you get is thick in indiffusible precipitate, and the second precipitate which you are getting is light indiffusible precipitate. So these two kinds of precipitates generally form in chemical incompatibilities. So you should remember. See, there are a lot of examples given for the physical incompatibilities here. For immiscibility, example, oil and water, castor oil emulsion. What happens in castor oil emulsion? You will take castor oil, you will try to mix it in water. It's impossible to mix oil in the water. So in order to overcome this, you are going to use emulsifying agent like an acacia in this case, and you will subject it to the trituration by reducing the globule size and by adding an what we can say this thing emulsifying agent. We are converting it into the emulsion. Castor oil solution is converted into castor oil emulsion just to avoid this incompatibility. So the emulsifier here is acacia gum, right? Then preparation of cresol with soap solution, Lokuda, Lysol or Clisol, which is Lysol, which is also marketed Lysol, is also called as orthocresol, is not soluble in water, or its solubility in water is only 2%. In order to overcome this and make this solubility to 50%, we are going to use soft soap in it. Soft soap here is prepared by heating vegetable oil with potassium hydroxide. So insolubility type of incompatibility can be overcome by adding an emulsifying agent or by adding a surfactant. So two examples for in physical type of incompatibility are given. Please note it down. One is castor oil emulsion, other one is cresol with soap solution. Okay, you have studied all these things in your first year. This is just a brief revision. Okay, guys, can we move forward?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. See, so there are a lot of such kind of examples in insolubility. After immiscibility, we have a few examples of insolubility. You can see the problem in this prescription, right? You can see here insolubility, liquid preparation containing diffusible solids is given. Consequences, indiffusible solids will produce suspension, that will settle quickly, which uniform doses cannot be poured into. Right? The remedy is adding of thickening agent if necessary and increasing the viscosity so that you can slow down the sedimentation. So, example, chalk, aromatic chalk powder, succinyl sulfonatazole, and other examples. Calamine and zinc oxide lotion. Calamine lotion is also very critical example for insolubility. So in calamine lotion, we are adding thickening agents like bentonite in order to improve the slow down the rate of sedimentation, right? Then problem again, we have one more problem, that is wetting problem or insoluble powders, right? So these powders like sulfur contain corticosteroids and antibiotics are difficult to wetting. So we will add wetting agents, right? Or we will add surfactants in these cases. So we will reduce the particle size and we will add surfactants. Okay. Then we have lot of other examples. No need to go in detail, but you should know that in physical incompatibilities you have two major examples in insolubility, immiscibility. Now, let's see some important examples in liquefaction. Just like we discussed about the camphor and menthol, we have also example of menthol and phenol, thiamol, and chloral hydride. When these substances are mixed together in pairs, they are going to form into liquid. Generally, it can be camphor, menthol, thiamol, or phenol or chloral hydride. They are solids at room temperature. When they are paired with each other, they are acting like an impurity to one another and can form a liquid, so which is not suitable for us. So how to overcome this incompatibility? We will add inert substances like sugar or kaolin, which can absorb the water and it converts it back into the free flowing powders. So let's see, when certain low melting point solids are powdered, triturated, and modern drizzled together, liquid or soft mass is formed because of lowering of their melting points below the room temperature. So in this case, camphor and menthol, when you are mixing them both, their melting points are lowered and they get liquefied or melted at room temperature. So we are calling it as liquefaction. So what you should do to overcome this thing? Menthol and thiamol are required to be dispensed as powders that triturated in mortar to form a liquid mixture. And the mixture is triturated with enough absorbent material like kaolin. So addition of this kaolin or magnesium carbonate or certain other adsorbents can overcome this problem. So you will add adsorbents. Okay. So these adsorbents, what they'll do, they will absorb this liquid and convert it into a free flowing substance. Okay. So kaolin and magnesium carbonate are efficiently used as adsorbents to overcome this kind of incompatibility. Now, what should you remember for the exam? Physical incompatibility లో liquefy అయ్యే liquids ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి? Compounds camphor, menthol, phenol, thiamol, chloral hydride. Any of these two mixed చేసేస్తే it will lead to liquefaction. So can anybody say me what is the other name of this kind of compound? Liquefying compounds కి ఇంకో పేరు ఉంటుంది. ఏం మిక్స్చర్స్ అంటామండి? Eutectic mixtures. These are also called as eutectic mixtures. What happens in eutectic mixtures? In eutectic mixtures, when you mix these two substances, they are generally going to be liquefied. So that point you should remember and you should be careful. Okay. So this is about liquefaction, which we have already seen. So this is the one method. Second method, we don't allow the substance to liquefy initially. First, what we will do, we will add them separately. Right? See, bulk, these two molecules, menthol and thiamol are triturated separately with small amount of absorbent powder. Then these two powders are combined together in order to prevent the liquefaction. So these two methods can be followed to overcome the liquefaction problem. So this is about physical incompatibility. Insolubility, immiscibility, and liquefaction. Next, very important and the chemical incompatibilities. So general classification: inorganic chemical incompatibility, organic chemical incompatibility. Inorganic chemical incompatibility lo general solubility principles. You can see here hydrolysis jarugutundi, right? Then inorganic incompatibilities classification చూడండి. Very important, please note down. Group 1A, what does happen here? Sodium, potassium, and ammonium salts. These reactions incompatibility will form, right? So hydrolysis occurs to an appreciable extent and produces hydrolyzable insoluble or volatile substances. Group 1B లో ఏముంటారండి? కాపర్, సిల్వర్ మిక్చర్స్ అండ్ ఈవెన్ గోల్డ్. ఇవి వచ్చినప్పుడు వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్? ఇన్ కెమికల్ ఇన్కంపాటిబిలిటీ ఏ టైప్ అండి ఇది? ఇన్ఆర్గానిక్ టైప్, రైట్? గ్రూప్ 3 లో నోట్ డౌన్ మెగ్నీషియం, కాల్షియం, బేరియం. గ్రూప్ 2B లో జింక్, మర్క్యూరీ. గ్రూప్ 3A లో అల్యూమినియం. గ్రూప్ 4A ఎలిమెంట్స్ నుండి టిన్ అండ్ లెడ్. గ్రూప్ 4B నుండి టైటానియం అండ్ జిర్కోనియం. గ్రూప్ 5A నుండి ఎర్సనిక్, యాంటిమనీ అండ్ బిస్మత్. గ్రూప్ 7B you have manganese, and group 8 you have iron. So these are the certain metals which on combination are going to give us inorganic type of chemical incompatibility. ఇనార్గానిక్ కెమికల్ ఇన్కంపాటిబిలిటీలో ఏమవుతుందండి? హైడ్రోలైసిస్ జరుగుతుంది, ఇన్సాల్యుబుల్ వోలటైల్ సబ్స్టాన్సెస్ ఫామ్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే, సో ప్లీజ్ నోట్ ఇట్ డౌన్. సో ప్లీజ్ నోట్ ఇట్ డౌన్ ఫస్ట్ or take a screenshot at least. Either take a screenshot or note it down and let me know whether you have completed it or not. Okay.
Completed.
Yeah, thank you. So this is inorganic type of incompatibilities. See, one prescription example you can see here: sodium bicarbonate and sodium perborate. There is a chances of incompatibility. So what we are doing here: sodium bicarbonate and sodium perborate have lowest water solubility among the sodium salt. So these two sodium salts may precipitate sodium ions, and bicarbonate ions or perborate ions remain in the concentration above their solubility level. So this happens in prescriptions. So you should be careful in prescribing such kind of prescriptions. So గుర్తుపెట్టగలగాలి, ఆలోచించి you can overcome this kind of incompatibilities. Okay. So next వచ్చేసి we have a lot of examples of each and every one. Uh, group 4, group 5, yeah. Non-metal incompatibilities, see, carbon to react అవ్వచ్చు, sulfur, iodine also brings the non-metal incompatibilities, right? Incompatibilities of acids are there. Not in non-metal incompatibilities, you see activated charcoal, it is easily oxidized, so it is not triturated with oxidizing agents. It has abbreviative action, hence it should not be dispersed with the potent drugs like alkaloids, because of the potent drug will be absorbed and it becomes inactive. So ఏమైతుందండి, ఇంట్లో ఉన్న absorbent nature వల్ల it absorbs the potent drug and can cause the drug inactive and can inactivate the drug. So this is the one incompatibility. Sulfurs in pharmacy, three forms of powder sulfurs are available: precipitated, sublimated, and washed sulfur. These powders are soluble only in carbon disulfate but insoluble in other solvents. So sulfurs వాడినప్పుడు కూడా there is a chance of chemical incompatibility. And iodine when react with arsenic, right, hyperphosphites and other reducing agents, it can lead to oxidation, right? So these are some examples. And iodine is generally not soluble in water. When we are going to prepare iodine ointment, when you are going to prepare aqueous iodine and strong iodine solution, we can't directly dissolve this volatile iodine in water. What we'll do, we'll take iodine and we will react with potassium iodide. So first we will take Ki, potassium iodide, and we will mix it in water to get iodine complex. Okay, potassium iodide plus we will use water. Those that in that potassium iodide complex, we are adding iodine, right? So this will help us in precipitation of preventing the precipitation of iodine and increasing the solubility of iodine. So complex in testometer, iodine case law. So this is also comes under part of type of incompatibility. So yeah, examples of preparations where you can find chemical incompatibilities are fluid extract slow, ergot, epicat, nux vomica, right? Elegit slow, like compound like glycerophosphate, lactate, pepsin, and compound pexin law. Solutions to ammonium acetate solution, ferric chloride solution, iron and ammonium acetate solution, ferrous sulfate solutions, magnesium stearate solution, citrate solutions. So we will see this kind of incompatibility. Citric acid, hydrochloric acid, right? And many other syrups. So we will see this kind of incompatibility. Many more examples are there. I'll share you this material. You can go through in detail, right? We will move a little bit faster because we need to cover therapeutic incompatibilities also. So, in order to overcome this chemical incompatibility, generally we have two methods only. One is tolerated, another one is adjusted method. Tolerated method of incompatibility management lo ఏమవుతుందంటే, in tolerated method, what we are going to do is we are going to change the uh, uh, steps of reaction. So, if you are going to change the steps of reaction, generally some incompatibilities can be overcome. Then we are calling it as a tolerated type of incompatibility. And it is tolerating if you are just changing the positions. But in adjusted type of incompatibility, you need to either remove one ingredient or need to add another ingredient so that we can overcome that incompatibility. That's called adjusted type of incompatibility adjustment. So tolerated type, adjusted type రెండు కూడా కొంచెం important అండి. Okay, that's about the chemical incompatibilities. There are a lot of other things to be discussed in chemical incompatibilities, especially bicarbonate chemical incompatibilities are also there. So if any bicarbonates are used, carbon dioxide will be liberated, and you should wait until this carbon dioxide ceases. So that should be kept in mind. Sometimes insoluble precipitates are formed, like ferrous sulfate, ferrous phosphate syrup తయారు చేసినప్పుడు, right? This kind of insoluble precipitates will should be overcome by adding some other substances which can dissolve this kind of precipitate. So all these kind of things should take care of, should remember these things. Okay, then we will see therapeutic incompatibilities. Yeah. Next, we are going to see about therapeutic incompatibility. So, what are therapeutic incompatibilities? Any guess? Yes. Some examples of therapeutic incompatibilities. Yes. Agonistic effect, antagonistic effect. ఇంకండి ఇంకేమైనా ఉంటాయా థెరపటిక్ ఇన్కంపాటబిలిటీస్? ఎనీ గెస్? Different therapeutic incompatibilities. Yes. Any? Anyone? So no one are listening to today's class. If you don't want, I wouldn't have been taken this class. Yes, therapeutic incompatibilities only errors in dose, wrong dose cut down, contraindication, synergistic effect, antagonistic effect, and drug interactions. What I'm going to do for today's complete incompatibilities notes, I will be giving you a review article. So in that you will have all details of therapeutic incompatibility. So let's hope for the best. You will understand all these details. Okay. So what are the therapeutic incompatibilities? Please note down. Error in dose. Yes. Wrong dose or wrong dosage form, contraindications or adverse drug reactions, synergistic effect, antagonistic effect, and drug interaction. Error in dose law, there are a lot of examples, beautiful examples we can discuss. Yeah. So you can see what's happening. Example, atropine sulfate capsules. You are given here atropine sulfate 0.05 grams in your prescription, phenobarbital 0.05 grams, aspirin 0.300 grams. Now, what is the incompatibility here? In this prescription, the quantity of atropine sulfate in each capsule is more than the recommended dose. So it can lead to error in dose type of incompatibility, therapeutic incompatibility. So the prescription is referred back to the physician to correct the overdose. Each single capsule should contain 0.25 to 2 mg. Okay, for a single dose. Next, wrong dose or dosage form. Example in a prescription, prednisone and prednisolone are given. Digoxin and digitoxin are given. There are certain drugs which have quite similar names, like we already discussed in errors in prescription. All errors in prescriptions are will lead to the errors, therapeutic errors in the therapeutic incompatibility. So sometimes many drugs are available in different dosage forms, and hence if the drug dose is not clearly mentioned, then it can lead to some serious therapeutic incompatibility. Contraindication lo chudandi, like these are certain drugs which may contraindicate to the particular diseases of particular patients who have allergies. Example, కొంతమందిలో penicillin పడదండి. The right, it can cause penicillin can cause rashes, contraindication. In some patients, like aspirin, small doses of aspirin can cause gastric hemorrhages. Even this contraindication is generally a therapeutic incompatibility. And in even yesterday we discussed about what at a time giving the calcium along with the tetracycline can also lead to contraindications, right? So we have a lot of contraindications. So contraindicated drugs. So corticosteroids are contraindicated in patients with peptic ulcers. Penicillin and other sulfonamide antibiotics are contraindicated with the patient who have allergic to them. And vasoconstriction are contraindicated with the hypertensive patients. Barbiturates and morphine should not be given to the asthmatic patient. Please note down these therapeutic incompatibilities. Therapeutic incompatibility and ఏంటి నాన్న? When unwanted, unexpected pharmacological response is seen. When you are giving a drug with certain known pharmacological response, but unintentionally unwanted pharmacological response is coming up, then it's called therapeutic incompatibility. Examples ఇక్కడ అండి, contraindications for prescribing barbiturates and morphines, right? In asthmatic patients, vasoconstrictor drugs in hypertensive patients, penicillin and sulfonamide derivatives in the patients who are allergic to the penicillin, and corticosteroids, especially contraindicated in the peptic ulcer patients. Noted? Important therapeutic incompatibility examples, right? Then Then you have another therapeutic incompatibility and prescribing synergistic and antagonistic drugs. This is also one very important thing. What is synergism? When two drugs are prescribed together and they tend to decrease the activity of each other, then it's called antagonism. And if the activity increases, then it's called synergism, right? When two drugs are prescribed together and if their activity is increases, then it's called synergism. And if activity decreases, then it's called antagonism. So if you're giving synergistic and antagonistic drugs together at the same time, it is also considered as therapeutic incompatibility. A combination of aspirin and paracetamol increases the analgesic activity. A combination of penicillin, streptomycin increases the antibacterial activity. A combination of amphetamine uh, shows its antagonistic effect with the barbiturates, right? Giving acetylcholine, with ACH with adrenaline, they both have the reverse reaction with antagonistic effect. One is vasoconstrictor versus one is vasodilator. So this kind of prescriptions before prescribing you should keep in mind. Sometimes doctors, physicians prescribe in order to improve the activity of the drug, but in some cases you should avoid it if it is unintentional and unwanted. So even this is a therapeutic incompatibility where you can see synergism and antagonism of the drug. Then we have drug interactions, like just now I gave an example of tetracycline, which should be avoided taking with the milk at least 6 hours దాకా milk తీసుకోకూడదు. Tetracycline is inactivated by the calcium present in the milk. So tetracycline should be taken either after 6 hours of taking the milk or after taking tetracycline, 6 hours milk and milk products should be avoided. So effect of one drug is altered by the stimulation or administration of another drug, then that is called drug interaction. So there are a lot of other drug interactions, drug interactions, drug food interactions, food interactions, and many more things which you have people have been seen in earlier classes. So therapeutic incompatibilities flow, errors in dose, wrong dosage form, contraindication, synergistic and antagonistic effect, and drug interaction should be kept in mind, right? If this class is disconnected, please reconnect back with the same link. Reconnect back with the same link for the last 10 to 20 minutes class. Now we will discuss in detail about the chemical incompatibilities also. So let's see some examples. Already we have seen error in dose example which from the first prescription. You have an example of atropine sulfate which is given in excessive doses, which should be referred back to physician in order to reduce the dose. And second therapeutic incompatibility in wrong dose or dosage form. So in wrong dose and dosage form, generally there can be a confusion because of the same names like prednisone, prednisolone,